All right, welcome back to Dream Aesthetic Podcast Behind the Scenes. We are now in Dream Aesthetic Podcast Series 2, Episode 2. My name is Ahmad. I'm your co-host for the Dream Aesthetic Podcast. Without further ado, together we have with us today Mr. Ben.
Yes.
All right, welcome to Dream Aesthetic Podcast. Excited to have you, and I'm very excited to talk to you. I've never spoken to you before. But I think I remember seeing you on stage. So,
yes.
Let's introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Ben. So that's short for Benjamin actually. So I'm this year 32. I'm a daytime accountant.
You are an accountant?
Yep.
You work at your profession as an accountant, okay?
Yes.
Okay. And how did your fitness journey begin?
I think I've been working out for the last 10 years, on and off.
Working out in the gym?
Yeah, in the gym. So I think maybe if there's a definite start to fitness, it probably is because I went to NS.
Okay, that's great. Yes, very similar story. Yeah, when I think for me also, I think NS actually was the pivot for me to be more serious or pay attention to fitness. Yes.
I was really fat when I went NS.
Oh, so during NS time you were obese?
Yes, I was.
But did you have to go for the PES BP kind of thing?
I wasn't fat enough to be BP, but definitely quite fat enough. Definitely couldn't run, couldn't do pull-up, stuff like
okay.
that. Yeah.
Don't mind sharing yours, like you were in what? PES?
I was
PES A?
B.
PES B.
PES B, yeah.
Okay, so you had to go through everything.
Yeah.
Army?
Yeah, Army.
Army, so go all the outfield and stuff.
Yes.
Man. Yep. Yeah. So I think like those Singaporeans will definitely relate to that, right? Like being in NS and if you are not fit and you have to go to outfield, it is actually a torture, right?
Yes, it was a torture. So I had to do the additional 2 months because I couldn't pass my NAPFA.
Oh, the NAPFA, yeah. But no, you don't have to do the additional 2 months. You did not get the 2 months discount. Everyone do 2 years. Those who had NAPFA, they got 2 months discount, right?
Yeah. I did not got that.
I got that similar story actually. I passed my NAPFA, but for some reason it was not recognized. So I had to serve that 2 months. I was like, oh no, man. but I think like there's always a blessings in disguise. Looking back, I did not regret, even like doing complete 2 years. Yeah, because I think at that point of time, I think it is. I think it's something that need to happen. It's meant to be. It's meant to be, right? Yeah. Okay, so I think let's jump into your story. So you are an accountant.
Yeah.
And you started doing your fitness journey during the national service time.
Yeah.
What made you get into competing in bodybuilding or physique?
Wow. Okay. So bodybuilding is a childhood dream for me. Since I was 5.
Nice. This is also another very long story.
Very long
right?
story.
Because since 5 years old, you have this aspiration to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, as far as I can remember, back then when I was 5, that there was a lot of late night televisions where they were showing like bodybuilding competitions on the television. I don't think we see those these days or in the last 10 years. But
you mean like when you were 5 years old, you watched television at night and you saw bodybuilding competitions?
Yeah.
In the television?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I was expecting like, you watch wrestling or something,
Yeah,
like
WWF,
and watching Hulk Hogan or Ultimate Warrior, and then you look at their physiques.
Not so much of that, but definitely started from the competition that was shown on telly.
What kind of competition did you see? Like SEA Games, Olympics?
Oh, that's too far to remember. But definitely along those lines.
This was around what, in the 80s or 90s?
In the 90s.
90s. I think early 90s. I think like SEA Games, Commonwealth Games. We still used to have bodybuilding in those, in those games, in the SEA Games, Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So sometimes you will see bodybuilding being, played on, overnight as part of the, like sports segment, covering the Commonwealth or SEA Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely what I was seeing.
And I think back in the 90s, Singapore was actually like one of the best in bodybuilding at least for Southeast Asia, right?
Wow.
Yes, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I think we had like a few good names. Who's that guy? Now I can't remember, but I think there are plenty of bodybuilding champions in the 90s. That is actually yes. They actually like put Singapore in you know like a good place in bodybuilding
Wow.
back in the 90s.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Even Dane, is it? The Abang Dane, is it? What's the name?
Yes, no, like
I don't know his full name.
Nazaruddin, yes.
Nazaruddin, yeah.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I think okay, so back to your so you're saying like at 5 years old you had this aspiration to be bodybuilder because you were watching bodybuilding coverage
Yep. That
on
was-
TVs.
Yeah, on TV.
Like this is like national TV or like ESPN kind of thing.
Definitely national TV. Yeah.
Okay, so I can imagine it's probably like the SEA Games or the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely
okay.
late night. So
But did you have anyone that you actually like, you know, captured your attention at that point of time, or it's just the whole experience of watching bodybuilding on TV?
I think it was the whole experience for sure. I mean, even if there was, I definitely don't remember who was it. Yeah.
So how long have you been working out? Like working out this whole process.
In terms of really dedicated training, dieting, that was for coming to 2 years now.
But what age you started to exercise?
So I think again,
Now you're 32. So
Yeah.
which age you started?
I think very much doing NS was a very pivotal point
18?
for me. So
Yeah.
probably 18. I think the whole motivation after that is that I didn't want to become fat again.
Then,
I mean, NS been all tough and that, so I didn't want to become fat again. So I tried to keep that up. Eventually, I became fat again. Unavoidable. In hindsight, it was avoidable, but I guess life happens lah. But I think when I was approaching my 30s, I decided that the question to myself was that what do I want to achieve? Do I want to be very different in my 30s, or do I still want to be the same? So I think also I reached a point where I was more stable in terms of commitment and financially, and the areas in my life that I can commit to doing bodybuilding properly. Yeah.
So having stable financial situation enables you to commit to bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And that's what got you started recently. And your first show or your first competition was the Dream Aesthetic Olympian 2024.
Yes.
Okay, nice. And okay. And how did you place?
I didn't get a placing.
Oh, but okay. But it's your first competition, right?
Yeah, it's my first. Yeah.
Do you remember how many people in your category back then?
I was in super novice, so I think there was 17 people.
17 or 70?
17.
Quite a number of people over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
17 is still a lot, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot. 17 is still
Yes,
a lot for one
17 is
category.
still a lot. Yeah. And okay, how's your experience like? First time being on stage,
Wow.
competing in men's physique.
It was definitely nerve-wracking for sure. Stepping on stage for the first time. Even though I envision myself doing it for a very long time, still, I think when you get the backstage, the whole process of it, and then eventually coming out of the backstage, it was very nerve-wracking for me. So, the night before, I was doing my posing practice for hours, and then I step on stage and I immediately screw it up. So, but overall, it was really a great experience. I mean, the whole point of doing the whole prep, stepping on stage, I think I'm able to prove to myself that, okay, this is something that I can do, that I've pushed myself to do.
So you prepare yourself for 2 years. Do you have a coach for yourself?
Yes, I had a
Why you choose a coach? Why don't you prep yourself?
I don't
Is it
think,
important to get coach?
I think it differs for everyone, in my opinion. But for me, I get a coach because I don't think I knew I was doing enough. Because despite myself training like on and off for the over last 10 years, I didn't really see a lot of result. So I think when I get a coach, I actually had more result in the last 2 years, more than what I had in the last 8 years before that.
If you can summarize like your experience of having a coach, what is the value that you get out of having a coach?
I think in the process of a prep is where emotion runs high, right?
Okay, emotional runs high.
So it can be one of those days where you wake up in the morning and you look at the mirror, it's like, I look very flat. or maybe it can be, for me, it was 10 weeks out, 8 weeks out. I didn't have apps and it was very, very scary for me. So having a coach is where you paid the fellow money, right? And since you paid money, then you better trust the fellow know what he's doing. And for my case, that was that. I paid my coach and I just have to trust that he knows what he's doing. If he says that you'll get there, you'll get there. Yeah. So it was removing the burden, having to think. And you just give me a program, give me a diet, I will just follow through. Yeah.
How's the whole process?
I was not ready for it.
I
You're
understand.
not ready for what? Being coached or?
The training was fine, but I have to say that the last 12 weeks leading out of the
3 months.
yeah, it was something that I don't think I could have been prepared for in terms of the toughness,
Dieting?
the dieting part, the temptation to not cheat at all, having to wake up in the morning, do your cardio, right, and then get to work, then train again, and then do a cardio again. I don't think I was ready for that, mentally wise. Yeah.
But would you say having a coach actually helped you to go through that last 12 weeks?
Definitely for sure. Yes. For me, because very, very practically, I paid the money. I have to
Yes.
commit to it.
Okay, so you kind of like have that mindset. Oh, okay, since that you have already committed to this, you might as well get the most out of it, kind of thing.
Yeah, because it's sunk cost, right? So
Yes, yeah. Yeah, well, okay. I think like I'm going to add on a little bit on this point because people usually don't see the value or they don't realize the value of having a coach, especially in with the nowadays setting. People say like, why do I need a coach? I can have the information over Google. I can actually check it out myself. I can actually learn by myself.
Yep.
The information out there is actually readily available. But I think like what people don't realize, it's because of that. 20 years ago, people may not have an information. So the coach is the source of information. The setting nowadays, there are millions of information out there. Which one suits you?
yeah, precisely.
Right?
There's a information overload, right?
Yes, too much information overload, right? And you cannot take any kind of information and apply it to you, right? And you don't know what suits you, what does not,
Yeah.
right? So the value of having a coach is like the coach actually needs to have that experience,
Yes.
right? So that is the value. So being an experienced person who has been there, done that, gone through the process, they understand what works, what doesn't work, which
Yeah.
information is relevant, which information you should not be taking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that I believe that is the value of a coach that people sometimes, tend not to realize.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So having a coach actually in nowadays setting, I'm trying to say, where there is an information overload out there, having a coach helps you streamline
Yeah.
which information. And also, I think that you said, like you pointed out earlier, you do not have to think.
Yes.
Right? The coach helps you to streamline things and actually to simplify things for you so that you can actually put your focus at the right place.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.